Morning friends, today we are going to discuss about stopler-Samuelson theorem. Stopler-Samuelson theorem is related international theory. After modern theory, I mean Haxer only theory, there is many criticism of Haxer only theory. Some economists saying it's not applicable for underdeveloped country, and country not producing only two goods, more than two or three goods. There is relations not only one country to other country, and in same directions new concept arise if one country to export and import goods where producing the other incentive, a labor incentive or capital intensive country. So finally effect is that the trade will change. If trade depend on elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply in other country, okay, so it means community indifference curve is depend on the various factor of country. So maybe trade beneficiary or maybe trade unbeneficiary. Okay, so in same way new theory arise according to Samuelson theory is find कि if two country export each other, then after some time the scarce factors price decrease and abundant factor price increase. So this theory is talking about this effect. So the stopler-Samuelson theorem, and stopler-Samuelson theorem most and main important thought, the theorem is concerning the effect of trade on income distribution. Okay, so income distribution change when change in the trade, and I think that effect of trade on income distributions. So basically Samuelson find what is the impact of factor, producing factor like labor factor, capitals. If one country export labor goods, either import capital goods, so what is the effect of the income distribution? Either wage rate increases, either rent, other capital's price increases or not. So basically in this theory we are going to find what is the exact effect of trade when two country specialization in own factors. Like, okay, so before I am going to give you a proper framework, just I am going to, without assumptions you can't prove any theories, so please note down assumptions. The main assumption is that there is two goods, one good is cloth, one goods is steel, there's two goods. Okay, two factor, there is a capital and another is labor. So labor and capital, there is two factor, steel and cloth, there is two goods. Okay, and most important, the homogeneous production function. It means both country has perfect competition and homogeneous function. It means if labor and capital are homogeneous, okay, if increase the labor 1 unit or 3 unit or 2 unit, then production also increase same way, same ratio. Okay, second, terms of trade, TOT, terms of trade remain. There is no change of the terms of trade, is assumptions. Okay, technology constant and remains. Okay, perfect competition, there's a perfect competition means there's absence of government. Okay, no transportation cost, these are assumptions. Okay, last, labor abundant, and suppose that one country has labor abundant and capital scarce, and other country has capital abundant, labor scarce. ठीक है, one country has labor scarce, one country has capital scarce. Free trade, there is no barrier of the free trade. So these are assumptions, and given assumptions we can find what is the situation effect of the trade. Okay, so here given the Edgeworth box, you can see it's called Edgeworth box. Okay, so I'm going to explain this theory of Samuelson within short term. Suppose that is x-axis, y-axis, x-axis, x-axis, y-axis, x-axis. Okay, so here capitals denoted by capital or is a labor. Okay, so you know Edgeworth box. A country has, suppose that the two country, a country is producing cloth and steel both. Okay, but country A has abundant of labor, that's why country A producing labor goods. Okay, so country A producing labor goods, okay, and maximum using labor and low ratio of the capital, यानी कि capital ratio, labor and capital ratio is very high, labor capital ratio in A. And B country producing K goods. Okay, K goods, or B country using maximum capital and minimum labor. Okay, why? Because it's non-linear, it is A B is contract curve. Its contract curve is called ratio curve also, because it shows the capital labor ratio. Capital labor ratio is presented by OE line. Okay, let's example. Suppose that a country producing goods. Okay, so in this point, okay, we can write T 0 T naught. Okay, it's a country. Okay, using labor and minimum capital. Okay, so it is point up. Okay, and A country and B country producing steel. B country ka, it is B country is producing, we can say steel also, S0, it is steel. It means steel producing, and production point is that, we can say R. Okay, and is the production point of, we can write Q. Okay, Q is the production point. Okay, and steel has producing the B country and R points. Okay, it means maximum labor, minimum labor, maximum capital using. Okay, and in this country minimum labor or maximum labor and minimum capital. Okay, clear? Okay, and suppose that it is a cost line, we can write P0, it is iso cost line, and here, okay, P1 cost line. It means country B has equilibrium point R, where the iso cost ratio line, price ratio line, factor price ratio line, and iso cost is tangent each other, point R, so that's equilibrium point R. And in this country equilibrium point R, it means country A producing at point Q and country R producing by R. Clear? Without trade, this is the without trade. So we can say terms of trade line. What is the terms of trade lines? Terms of trade line is that, okay, it is the terms of trade line, okay, and its terms of trade line is okay. So its terms of trade line. So this and triangle, okay, or it is this triangle. Okay. So clear? As a country A producing, what is it, angle AQC. AQC is country A's का production, AQC triangle, okay, and B country's production triangle is equal to, okay, we can write this BRD, BRD. Clear? Without trade, it is optimum point, is optimum point, okay. According to Haxon only theory, one country has a labor maximum, the labor is utilization of labor maximum, and other country has still capital, the country want a specialization in capital goods. So according to Haxon only theory, if one country, there is not a fully specialization, there is no fully specialization, but country move to increase the labor cloth, matlab labor goods, and steel, increase the productivity of steel using by capital B country, okay. After specialization, if after specialization, you can say the trade has been changed, or we can find trade has been changed, means, okay, TT is shifted from TT1. Why? After specialization, production point Q to change R. For country A, country production point change Q to R. Why? Because after specialization, using the maximum capital, same ratio may increase the ratio, production is changed, increase the production, okay, and then but using the maximum capital, maximum labor and minimum capital, it means new terms of trade line for country A change, okay. So it is, sorry, it's not true, okay, country is A. So now new terms of trade line is that, new terms of trade line is that AR. So AR is neutral, before trade AQ is neutral, okay, there is change. It means capital ratio change using the maximum labor and capital. So what happened in the market? Market means if the production increase of labor goods, if production increase of cloth and if labor goods, the labor demand will increase. It means production increase cloth का, okay, cloth increase, cloth, cloth production increase, then labor की demand increase. If labor demand increase, the wage rate also increase. Why? Because production increase, the wage rate increase, the labor demand increase, then GDP increase. Because why? Because production the more goods of labor than export country to other country, then net export is positive, then GDP is increase. Then if GDP increase, then factor price of wage rate also increase. But what happened in the scale factor? The scale factor price decrease. Why? Because in this country capital is high rate, there is excess of capital, the prices capital is high rate, then country released some capitals, so capital move to other country. Okay, but other country has a specialization of capital, then labor move to labor incentive country. Okay, so we need the more labor demand, then B country excess labor is shifted to from country A, labor incentive country. Okay, so its point clear. Okay, now we can say wage rate increase. Okay, and I'm going to next other country, B country. In a B country you can say starting point R, but after trade a specialization in only steel, okay, goods. Then what happened? This S has to shift from here, yes 1, yes 1. Okay, starting this PP1, it means the starting there is the price curve is PP1 for steel. Now price curve for PP0 for steel production. Okay, same here, starting the for cloth production factor price line PP not P not, now is TT1 P1 is factor price. It means ratio has changed. How we can find the ratio? Okay, so Q band BQ is new terms of trade line. Okay, so now you will have to compare. How we can compare? Starting the production is changed, so now it is a production point. Okay, now it is a production point. Okay, clear? So next you can say country B production point change R to Q, from R to Q point. Okay, using maximum capital low labor ratio. So using maximum capital, it means capital's demand increase in B country, because capital demand increase in B country, then labor capital, there is a scale, capital is no work in the capital, is capital shift to B country. Why is capital shift to B country? Okay, then if capital demand in B country, then marginal property of capital increases, then our rent is increases. So we can say कि theorem of the concerning the effect of trade on income distribution. So income distribution means the marginal property of capital and marginal property of labor increase. So यानी कि marginal property of capital increase यानी कि wage rate increases, okay, rent increases, and marginal property of labor increases, then wage rate increases. Why? Because there is perfect competition, price is equal to factor price, तो price marginal productivity of labor, marginal productivity of capital is equal to marginal productivity of labor upon marginal productivity of capital. Okay, is clear? Because MRS MRTS equal होता है equal to MRS के. Okay, so how we can prove this theory? Prove this, there is a ratio, this parallel line, this starting this is a parallel line. Okay, this cone changed, this cone and starting this cone. Now move A Q C starting now, and here B D Q starting में B R Q, now B Q D starting A Q C, now A R C. So A R C and A Q C started change, ratio change. It means there is both country has benefit. Clear? So finally we can say our example that कि cloth producing by A country and exporting B country, and steel यानी कि it means K goods producing by B country and exporting for country A. Both country has getting a specialization on factor like labor and capital. They export each other, but finally impact of trade is the change the income distribution. So labor. Okay, so final conclusion is that where is the labor? Scarce labor. If one country is scarce labor and one country is labor abundant, it means labor abundant means productivity increase the labor, then marginal productivity of labor increase and production increase. Why? Because we have assumptions homogeneous production function, that's why. And capital increase, capital is scarce, capital price decrease in the country. But different country, here the in this country in a country labor productivity, labor's budget increase, capital rate decrease, and in this country labor rate decrease and capital rate increase. So in this country there is two factor, labor capital and labor capital also, but the capital productivity increase, the labor productivity increase. Then income factor, labor's income increase, and the capital's factors income increase. So it is final impact of the Samuelson theorem. So according to Samuelson theorem, you can draw also production possibility curve in different way. So you can prove with example and with graph. Please note down